What is going on, world? What's up, YouTube? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new episode of the 8 Below Show. Welcome everyone to 8 Below, the best gaming related show on the planet Earth. And with that being said, everyone, we have a lot of stuff we want to talk about in this episode of the show, so let's get into it. You know, there's a game out there that just continues to blow me away and continues to raise the bar as time has gone, and that is none other than Cyberpunk 2077. This is a game, guys, that started off in, my personal opinion, one of the worst launches or one of the worst states for a game that was as anticipated as Cyberpunk 2077. When you think about a game that was considered, one of the most hyped games in recent memory, and the way it launched, to all the bugs, the glitches, all of the issues that it had, to where we are now, Cyberpunk 2077 is a story of a studio, that being CD Projekt Red, not giving up on the title. It reminds me so much of No Man's Sky. This was a title, obviously, that had similar kind of circumstances where it launched very poorly. I remember playing, No Man's Sky when it first came out, and the reception to the bugs, the glitches, it was almost unplayable. But underneath all of it, you could see that there was a really special title there. And No Man's Sky and the, development team, the publishing team, they continued to believe in the title. And look at where it is now. Just an incredible comeback story. And Cyberpunk 2077, in my mind, is even a better comeback story for the simple fact of the matter that Cyberpunk 2077 was so highly anticipated and was, something that everybody was so excited about. And it releases to the world, and obviously releases, really prematurely. Should not have released when it did, but it did. And Cyberpunk 2077 and CD Projekt Red had to, in a major way, continue to, double down, believe in the product, and get it to, a place of playability, but also a place where, because underneath all of the bad things, all the glitches, the bugs, you could see an incredible game underneath all of it. I remember, saying this when I started first playing the title, that there was something special underneath all of it. And so that being said, I think that, Cyberpunk 2077, where it is now, of course, with, the release of Phantom Liberty, it is absolutely mind-blowing what this title has done and what the folks over at CD Projekt Red have accomplished. It just comes to show you that if you believe in your product, if you believe in it in a major way, even if it launches in a very shaky state, you can, if you just continue to service it, build upon what you started, but build upon the things that you're doing wrong and the things that you can do differently moving forward, listening to the community's feedback. You can make things happen that you never thought were possible. And Cyberpunk 2077, absolutely, from where it was to where it is now, it's blown me away. It's unbelievable, the comeback story that is Cyberpunk 2077. It continues to raise the bar, and I'm so excited to see what the future of this franchise and this title looks like, because I believe it's something very special. And what comes next is hopefully going to be like multiplayer experiences and things of that nature. I'm really hopeful for the future of Cyberpunk and what CD Projekt Red has planned. But man, just unbelievable what these guys have done over there at CD Projekt Red. It's incredible. I'm going to be making a lot of Cyberpunk 2077 content, guys, in the future. Let me know what you guys all think in the comment section down below. What did you think about this incredible comeback story? And is Cyberpunk 2077 like blowing you away like it is me in terms of where it started to where it is now? Let me know what you guys think. And for more Cyberpunk 2077 content and videos, keep it here with zrotv. With GTA 6 all but confirmed at this point in time, I want to talk about the things that we want out of this title, and I'll be giving you guys my thoughts and opinions on this. I would love to hear yours in the comment section down below. So let's get into it. So guys, I'm going to be giving you the 5 things that I would like to see out of GTA 6. And so with that being said, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like I said, leave it in the comment section down below, the top 5 things that you all want to see. Let's get into it. So with that being said, guys, coming in at number 1 for me, I would love to see a full package out of GTA 6. I'm fully expecting us to get a full package, that being, a full-blown campaign, multiplayer modes, and co-op modes, so that it brings you back to the experience over and over again. After you're done beating that single-player story, you can go back, play with your friends, or you can, of course, go to GTA Online, and we have a new GTA Online, essentially, that is going to bring you back to that experience over and over and over again, which is what GTA 5 has done so well. Coming in at number 2 for me, I would love to see, from a campaign perspective, I would love to see a single storyline. So, in GTA 5, we followed a few different storylines, and they all kind of intertwined and weaved over time, but I would love to see a single storyline that you play as, because what I found with GTA 5 was, as you're playing multiple different storylines, it would kind of draw you out of the experience over and over again, because when you would play as, one character, and then the next mission you're playing as a different character, following each of those storylines, I felt like if you had one storyline that you played as, and then after you beat the game, you unlocked another storyline, you could play that storyline, and then so on and so forth. So I would love to see a single storyline, main storyline, and then after you beat it, then you can play a different storyline, and then you unlock other storylines as time goes. I think that would be a really fascinating idea. So I'd love to see something like this in GTA 6. Coming in at number 3 for me, I would love to see the setting of GTA 6. We've got a lot of rumors and speculation on where it's going to be set at, but I would love to see a more futuristic setting, kind of similar to like a Cyberpunk 2077, maybe not going quite as, futuristic as that, but, going a little bit more futuristic, where the area just, looks very modern, but also like it's, kind of getting into like AI, robotics, things of that nature. I think it would be really fascinating to see GTA in somewhat of that type of world. I think it could be really, really cool. Coming in at number 4 for me, guys, I would love to see more and more customization options, whether it's customizing your character as you go, customizing your weapons, your vehicles. I think that they did a great job of this, and they've, really consistently done a really good job of this in Grand Theft Auto up to this point in time, but I would love to see it even go another step, whether it like all kind of works cohesively together, where whatever you're unlocking on GTA Online as you're playing that you can have those things that are playable within the campaign, and vice versa. What you earn in the Grand Theft Auto 6 campaign transfers over to GTA Online, or whatever co-op modes also come your way. So customization, I think, is going to be very, very important here in GTA 6. And last but not least, guys, coming in at number 5 for me is going to be a variety of different locations, weapons, enemies, as well as characters. I think that this would be really awesome, guys, where, if you've got a variety of weapons, you're not just using kind of the same weapons over and over again. That would be really awesome. Having a multitude of vehicles, I think there's not going to be a short on supply in terms of different vehicles that you could use, but I'd love to see that expanded upon here in GTA 6. And then, of course, enemies. I'd love to see a variety of different types of enemies that you're going up against during the story mode, and even characters that you're coming across in the campaign and things of that nature that are ultimately going to be playable characters in GTA 6 Online. I would love to see that as well. Number of different enemies, number of different characters that you're coming across, learning about, more about this world, about the story that they're trying to build over at Rockstar Games. But with that being said, guys, those are the 5 things that I would love to see out of GTA 6. I mean, of course, there's a long laundry list of things that I'm sure a lot of you would love to see out of GTA 6. What would you like to see? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more GTA 6 content and videos, stay here with zrotv. So Cyberpunk 2077 is, just like I had mentioned, one of the greatest comeback stories in the history of video games. It's been an unbelievable comeback story from where it started to where it is now. But there are 5 things that I would like to see out of Cyberpunk 2077 moving forward into the future. And I would love to hear your guys' thoughts about this in the comment section down below. So let's get into it. So guys, coming in at number 1 for me, the number 1 thing that I would love to see Cyberpunk 2077 introduce or bring back to what was going to happen originally in Cyberpunk 2077 is multiplayer. Multiplayer, guys, was supposed to come out, obviously, with Cyberpunk 2077. CD Projekt Red scratched it, obviously, for a number of reasons, but the main one being that, the state of Cyberpunk 2077 when it first released was very, very bad. And so they had all hands on deck, probably pulled pretty much everybody who was working on a Cyberpunk 2077 multiplayer and started working on that single player story. But I would love to see a multiplayer, multiplayer modes come out. I think this game would be incredible for multiplayer, like a Cyberpunk, online, something of that nature. But I think PvP, PvE would be really awesome, where you can play with your friends or play up against other people across the globe. It looks like the type of shooter that would be awesome for something like this. And so, multiplayer is definitely number one for me. Number two, guys, for me is definitely coming in at being the setting, or I should say like them setting up a potential sequel to Cyberpunk 2077. Now, obviously, I think that Cyberpunk 2077, the idea is that they want to service this game for the long term. So with Phantom Liberty out, I would love to see them set up the next rounds of DLC. And maybe in the DLC is when we're going to be getting multiplayer modes up and coming at some point down the journey. But I would say that I would love to see them continue setting up a potential sequel or the potential of more DLC in the future for Cyberpunk 2077. I think that would be absolutely awesome. Coming in at number three for me, guys, one of the things Cyberpunk 2077 does so well is their characters. Character development. I think each of their characters, they know their one thing. They know their current one role that they need within the story and how they play a part in the ecosystem of Cyberpunk. But I would love to see the introduction of more and more characters moving forward. I think that would be really, really awesome. Having new characters and some, just more characters, and even the characters that we have currently, an expansion upon those moving into whatever the next DLCs are and things of that nature. I would love to see just more of an expansion on the characters that we've got. At number four for me, guys, I would love to see, new locations, new enemies, new, weapons that you can use. I would love to see this as well as they continue to expand the Cyberpunk 2077 story. Whether that's getting, like I said, new locations, that would be really interesting. You've got Night City, but it'd be cool to start exploring more and more what else is out there. I think if they could continue expanding upon that, it could be something really special that goes along with the new enemies. I'd love to see some new enemies introduced to the fray in Cyberpunk 2077, as well as new weapons. The weapons are really cool in Cyberpunk 2077, and I think there's a lot of opportunity to really expand upon that and create some really awesome weapons for the future. And that leads me, guys, into number five. The last thing that I would love to see Cyberpunk 2077 do, and they've done a great job of this up to this point, is customization. I would love to see more customization moving forward, whether that's customizing your character, customizing your weapons, vehicles, all of those things I think would be absolutely awesome for Cyberpunk 2077 moving forward. Expand upon what they've done really well, the things they haven't done really well, and the things they can do different moving forward, and really just expand upon those customization options. I think that would be absolutely awesome. Having, if you have free reign of your character in terms of further customization options and weapon customization and, all of those things, I think could just be absolutely incredible and just make the experience all that more enjoyable. But let me know what you guys think. What are your 5 things that you would love to see out of Cyberpunk 2077 right here, right now? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Cyberpunk 2077 content and videos, stay here with zrotv. So Starfield, this is a really, really interesting topic, guys, and one that I wanted to talk about because, I've had a lot of people asking me, do I think that Starfield is overrated? Do I think it's underrated? Do I think it's in the middle? I want to talk about this because Starfield, guys, in my mind, from the perspective of what the scope is of this game, it is unbelievable in terms of what Bethesda has been able to do with Starfield. When it first released, obviously there's a lot of controversy and a lot of talk and a lot of people from PlayStation that are coming over talking major trash about Starfield, and it's been banter back and forth. But let me put it to you like this: Starfield, even though it doesn't feel completely endless in terms of, the hype and all of that, I don't think it's quite where, a lot of times where Bethesda was putting it as being like, just this, expansive place where you can do and see whatever you want and explore the universe in major ways. You can do that, but it's a little bit blown out of proportion. Now, in terms of the flip side of that, in terms of an underrated perspective, I think that some people and a lot of people in the community are not giving it enough credit for what they've done over at Bethesda. And I think of games very similar to like No Man's Sky, Cyberpunk 2077, there were definitely issues upon launch with Starfield when it first released. But the idea was that this wasn't a game that they're just going to abandon. Now, if they do, I would definitely come down very hard on Bethesda, especially in recent memory. Bethesda has not, created the greatest projects in the world. Let's be real about that. But with Starfield, if they continue to service this game in a major, major way in the future, I think that the bugs, the glitches, the places where you can't go and where it doesn't allow you to go, they're going to expand upon that over time. It reminds me like with No Man's Sky, when that first released, there were a number of issues, bugs, glitches on consoles, and all kinds of things. But you saw underneath all of it something really special. They continued to service the game, and now No Man's Sky is awesome. The same thing with Cyberpunk 2077. That game launched absolutely terribly. And now to see where that game is, it's absolutely incredible. Unbelievable where we are now with, Cyberpunk 2077. That, as well as No Man's Sky, two of the greatest comeback stories ever in video game history, in my opinion. Now, Starfield, it didn't have quite as shaky of a launch or anything like that. A lot of people, it's more like just a lot of people in the community talking about it, right? I just feel, though, that Starfield, when we look at everything from the overall trajectory of where it's going, I think it's only going to go up from here. I really do believe that, as long as Bethesda continues to service the game in a major, major way and, fix the problems immediately or as quickly as they possibly can. And I think it could be something really, really special in the future. So do I think it was overrated? I do think it was overrated. Do I think it was underrated? I absolutely do as well. I think that it's kind of a little bit in between right now. And do I think that it's worth the hype? I do believe it is. I think that there is something there that in the future, whether it's in the next month, next 6 months, I think Starfield is going to be in a place where it's very, very special moving forward, similar to that of like No Man's Sky, Cyberpunk 2077. I see something underneath all of it within Starfield where it's going to be something that could be very special for the future and just for gaming in general. This is a very expansive place. I'm excited to see what they do with Starfield and what it looks like moving forward. It's going to be interesting, guys. But do you think that Starfield's overrated, underrated, somewhere in between? I'd love to hear your thoughts about this in the comment section down below. Let's have a conversation about it. And for more Starfield content and videos, keep it here with zrotv. As we're awaiting the official release date and confirmation and things of that nature about Grand Theft Auto 6, I want to talk about the hype that's been building for so long when the first leaks, rumors were coming out that Rockstar was working on the next Grand Theft Auto game, and, just how big this game could potentially be. So let's talk about it. So guys, GTA 6, the follow-up to one of the biggest games of all time, that being GTA 5. I believe that this game is going to be, without question, the biggest game of all time. I think that when this game releases, the hype, anticipation, excitement, obviously everybody in the community is going to be dissecting the first trailers that come out, dissecting everything that comes out about this game. And then once the game releases, when we talk about from, how much content is going to be out there to, recurrent players, to all of the, sales numbers, this game, guys, is going to blow Grand Theft Auto 5 out of the water, in my personal opinion. I believe that this game is going to be the biggest, largest launch of all time. Rockstar's been taking their time with this game, as they do every game. They take their time. They don't release anything until, it is ready to go. And I think GTA 6 is going to be no different. I believe that this will be the biggest game of all time, and I don't even know if it's even going to be close. We have Call of Duty, guys, which year over year is the best-selling game every single year. And I think that GTA 6 has an opportunity to be even bigger than that of Call of Duty, that of GTA 5, that of any of these other games that have come out before it. I believe that this is going to be the biggest launch in history when we talk about just Grand Theft Auto in general, but also gaming in general. I think that this game has the opportunity to be something unbelievable. I can just imagine right now when they show off the official logo for GTA 6, and then of course show off an official trailer. the absolute hype and anticipation for this game is going to go through the roof. Now, when is the game coming out? I believe the game's going to probably be coming out in 2026, potentially 2025, but I think we're going to get our official announcement for the game in 2024, and then we're going to probably see more and more gameplay as time goes in 2025, and the game releases sometime in 2026. I mean, I think that, could it come out sooner than that? That would be awesome if it did, but I want Rockstar to take their time with this, obviously. They've taken a lot of time up to this point, but I would love for them to take their time with the game, make sure everything's polished, ready to go, and then when they release it to the world, it's something incredibly special. But I think that there is a massive, massive chance that this is going to be the biggest game in history of video games, and I'm all for it because I'm a massive fan of Grand Theft Auto. I would love to see this be, the biggest game in the world and top all of the sales charts, all of the recurrent, and concurrent players and things of that nature. I would love to see that more and more, because I'd love to live in a time when that game, or there's a game like GTA 6 that is that big. We need something that big, similar to like a Fortnite or, one of these other titles that have come out in the past. I would love to see a game that brings the entire gaming community together and just blow this thing up. It would be incredible in a massive way and on a multitude of different, fronts. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think that Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be the largest GTA and the largest game ever? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And for more GTA 6 content and videos, keep it here with zrotv. One of the things that I would love to see is a Cyberpunk 2077 multiplayer. This was something that we were going to be getting, guys, at some point or another. Really, it sounded like we were going to be getting it at launch, and that being said, we never got it. They canceled the multiplayer mode for Cyberpunk 2077 because of all the issues that they had in terms of upon release. So many issues, and obviously they pulled all hands on deck to Cyberpunk 2077 in terms of just getting this game in a playable state because of all the bugs, glitches, all the issues that they had, that being CD Projekt Red at launch. Will we get a Cyberpunk 2077 multiplayer at some point in the future with like a DLC release or something altogether? Let's have a real conversation about it here in the comment section down below. Let's get into it. So guys, in an article coming to us from Ewan Moore of Gaming Bible, cast your mind back in the mist of time. Absolutely nothing of any consequence was happening around the world, and CD Projekt had finally released Cyberpunk 2077 following years of hype. It was, as I know you remember, a mess. Cyberpunk 2077 was borderline unplayable on consoles and less powerful PCs. Refunds were issued, apologies were made, and CD Projekt had to completely change up their post-launch plans. Among the many changes made to Cyberpunk 2077's post-launch plans was the delay of the game's major expansions. It's no secret that Cyberpunk 2077's dodgy launch killed CD Projekt's plans to launch a multiplayer mode. The studio had to spend all of its time fixing the game it had released before it could even think about new content after all. Heck, it's amazing we're getting Phantom Liberty, but that speaks to just how far the game has come over the last few years. 100% agree with that. There are multiplayer modes for plenty of single-player games, including Hogwarts Legacy, Skyrim, and Fallout 3. These are naturally massive undertakings that can't be rushed. A team called CyberScript have been working on and off over the past year or so to develop a multiplayer mode for Cyberpunk 2077. The mod was briefly available via Nexus Mods last year before being taken down. However, there is light on the horizon. A post on the CyberScript website confirms they still intend to recreate multiplayer for the game. When it'll be available again or closer to a full release is anyone's guess, but given modders are usually volunteers to put miracles together in their free time, I'd imagine this one will be a long way off. Still, it's exciting to think that someone out there is working on what could be a genuinely amazing multiplayer experience. I 100% agree. I mean, I believe, guys, that CD Projekt Red should have still in their timeline of events of what they're doing with Cyberpunk 2077, they should absolutely make a multiplayer. It should definitely be on their list to do in terms of, after getting, Phantom Liberty, all of those things taken care of and out of the way, they should be focusing in a major way on another way they can bring people back to the experience over and over again in the form of a multiplayer experience. Now, Night City is a big place with plenty to see and do. Its neon-lit streets are home to plenty of secrets, and exploring it will only be more enjoyable thanks to the 2.0 update, which will add a variety of content and quality of life improvements before Phantom Liberty drops. So something it won't change, though, is the character interactions, or more specifically with the romance options. There are several characters for V to woo throughout the course of the game, with the fan favorite being Judy. A minor complaint players had with the game was once you complete a romance questline, there's really not much to do with the character aside from visiting them. And I agree with that for sure. Now, in terms of one of the really cool things is that Cyberpunk 2077 is going to have obviously flying cars, which is awesome. Now, listen, we all know that Cyberpunk 2077's launch was a hot mess and a blemish on CD Projekt's reputation that it may never recover from. I'm not here to go over all that again, but of all the things that went wrong with Cyberpunk 2077 at launch, perhaps the thing that bothered me the most was the lack of flying cars. Oh, you can see flying cars jetting around Night City. You can even ride it in one depending on which life path you choose at the start of the game, but you can never actually get behind the driver's seat of one. Thankfully, there is a mod designed to ease the pain. We've seen thrilling overhauled police chases, a working subway system, and even a third-person mod, but this flying cars mod from modder Jack Humpert fixes one of the game's biggest missed opportunities. This is a classic mod you may have already heard of, but if you somehow missed it, it basically allows all cars and bikes to take on the skies of Night City. There's even a Back to the Future style effect in which the wheels turn up inside the vehicle when you activate flight mode. Now, I just wish, guys, that these weren't all mods. I wish that these were things that Cyberpunk 2077 and the folks over at CD Projekt Red decided to really, kind of thrust into, because these are things that obviously the community wants. We want a multiplayer mode. We want to have more flying vehicles, things of that nature. And so I really hope that they, see all these mods and the popularity of them, and they decide, hey, you know what, we're going to actually just integrate these into the game. So in terms of Phantom Liberty and just overall, guys, what an incredible experience. But I can't really say enough good things about Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. It fills me with joy to be able to report that this is a deeply ambitious expansion that fires on all cylinders and never delivers anything less than a stellar experience. CD Projekt Red is walking away from Cyberpunk 2077 in the best possible way, delivering on the game's immense potential and dropping one final unforgettable adventure. Now, what I believe, guys, is that this should just be the starting point for Cyberpunk 2077, or definitely a starting point for what's to come in the future, that hopefully being a multiplayer experience, hopefully more Cyberpunk games in the future, or, if they just continue to service Cyberpunk 2077, that'd be awesome, and I believe that they will be doing that, but I just would love to see them create a multiplayer experience. Do I think this is something that is going to happen? It's really hard to say at this point what CD Projekt Red is planning on doing moving forward. I really think that the success of Phantom Liberty, if it's a massive, success for them, then they would continue bringing out DLC, continue bringing out, different updates and things of that nature for Cyberpunk 2077. I definitely believe that they should be making a multiplayer experience, though, to bring you back to the experience over and over again. It just gives you more reasons to come back to the experience. Multiplayer is a huge part of that, and I think that they definitely should do it. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think they're going to make a multiplayer experience that was canceled for Cyberpunk 2077, but do you think they could be making another in the future? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And for more Cyberpunk 2077 content and videos, keep it here with zrotv. I've said this many times on the YouTube channel, but Max Payne is one of my favorite franchises of all time. I absolutely it captivated me when the first game came out. Unbelievable experience, and I actually had to sneak it because my parents weren't going to let me play it. So my friend and I, at the time, we went to GameStop, picked up a copy of Max Payne, the original, and my gosh, we would stay up all night playing this game, played through the campaign a multitude of times, and just an incredible experience on the original Xbox. And that being said, we've had a couple other continuations of the franchise. The second game I didn't like quite as much as the first one, and even the third game I didn't like as much as the first one, but I thought that they were building on something very, very special. And Rockstar now, obviously owning, Max Payne and the rights to the game, I would love to see a continuation of this moving forward. Now, we've heard a lot of talk that Remedy Games is doing a remake for the first couple of games, and I can't wait for this, obviously. Remedy does an incredible job of creating narrative and from a graphical fidelity perspective. They just do an incredible job. And with Alan Wake 2, You know, obviously, that reminds me a lot of that original Max Payne title. It looks, there's just a lot of similarities, very dark, dreary, very much so a gritty experience where, you know, Alan is really like kind of lost in his own head, so to speak. And, you know, with Max Payne, he was so much on like on a vengeance tour, taking out everybody who stood in his way after, you know, after killing his family. And, you know, I would just love to see a continuation, even though Max Payne 3 ended off like it was ending his story. I really think that there's still so much that they could do with the potential Max Payne 4. And I would love to see this. There's been a lot of talk. Is this going to be something that could be coming after, you know, GTA 6? And I believe that it absolutely should be. Now, Rockstar, are they going to work on Max Payne 4, or is the next thing after GTA 6 going to be a, you know, another Red Dead Redemption, or is it going to be a Bully 2, an LA Noire 2? You know, that's what's going to be really interesting as we go here. But Max Payne makes so much sense to me in terms of making a continuation. This would, you know, give Rockstar the ability to kind of, obviously, you know, get them away from doing GTA and Red Dead and kind of work on something a little bit different. And I think they could do something really special. On the flip side of that, what Rockstar could do is they could service it out to Remedy, who obviously knows everything about Max Payne. And I think that they could service it out to them or allow them as a third party to work on it. Rockstar kind of oversees everything so that they can focus on the next Red Dead game, maybe the next Bully game. I just think that Max Payne makes so much sense to have this game come out in the future. I think it could be something incredibly special, and I would love to see that continuation of Max Payne in this world, because I think 3 games just isn't enough. We need more Max Payne to come out in the gaming community with updated graphics on the new consoles to, you know, a new dark story within that universe. It could be something incredibly special. But let me know, guys, do you think Rockstar is ever going to make a Max Payne 4? I think that we as a community have to echo this thing into existence. I would love to see it happen. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And for more Max Payne 4 content and videos, stay here with zrotv. I'm super excited to announce, guys, that our official launch of merchandise has gone live. And so, guys, you guys can check out all of our merch that we have released for our first collection in the comment section down below, as well as the description down below. Guys, you know, it's been something that I've been wanting and have been working on for quite some time, to release some merch based around our shows that we do, that being Zero Dark, the 8 Below show, Horror Theory. These are things that mean so much to me, and I wanted to release merchandise so that you guys can rep along as we continue to create content. All of the proceeds for that are going to go back into creating high quality content for all of you. And so I just really appreciate all the support we've gotten up to this point. Check out all of the merch as we released it. Like I said, it's going to be in the description down below. It's been a culmination of a lot of hard work, dedication, and because of all of you and you guys motivating me every single day to produce the highest, you know, quality content out there, and a high quantity of content as well for all of you, between YouTube videos and shorts and things of that nature. I'm just really excited that we finally were able to release this merch to all of you, and you guys can check out all of that stuff. And then, you know, along with the Patreon that we created, all the proceeds that go from our Patreon as well as our merch are going to be going right back into creating the highest quality content that we can, as well as the highest quantity that we can as well. I want to be able to create as much content for all of you so that each and every one of you that come to zrotv, you guys are going to be able to find any type of content that you possibly would want to see, whether it's a favorite game that you want to see a continuation of, or a game that's currently out that you want to hear more information about. I think it's really important that we create this space where it's a community. It's a place where we can all come together and we can talk about these games, echo games into existence that we want to see continuations of, similar to what we did with Dead Space. And we were able to create such a big community around people wanting to see a continuation of Dead Space, and we got a continuation in the form of a Dead Space remake. And I believe now Dead Space is back and better than ever, and I think they're going to be continuing that in the future. I love this community. I love this because I love all of you. And I'm just so thankful for each and every one of you. It gives me chills just thinking about all the support we've gotten for a YouTube channel of this size, and just so appreciative of each and every one of you. Let's keep going. Let's keep grinding. I'm so excited, guys, for the future. Check out that merch. Let me know what you all think about it. I would love to hear your thoughts about it as we continue, because we're not stopping. This is just the beginning. We want to continue making collections for all of you, and I want things that all of you would want to rep, something that you would be proud of, excited about. Let's have a real conversation about it in the comment section down below. Check it out, guys. It's on spring. Let's grind. One of my most anticipated games of the future is Stormgate. This is an upcoming RTS, guys, from a lot of the guys who worked on other real-time strategies over at Blizzard. And I want to talk about this and talk about everything that we know now about this title as we've gotten further information. So let's get into it. So guys, in an article that's coming to us from Michael Hassel of esports.gg, Stormgate is perhaps the most highly anticipated RTS of the past few years, and we're here to give you all the info. So Stormgate is the highly anticipated real-time strategy game from Frost Giant Studios that has been teased and touted for what feels like years now, but with no solid release date. So what is Stormgate? Well, Stormgate is an RTS designed to be a successor to the likes of Warcraft 3, StarCraft 2, and other classics of the genre. Created by a studio founded by former Blizzard employees Tim Morton and Tim Campbell, the two Tims have a veritable plethora of RTS design experience, and now they're bringing it to Stormgate. In doing this, they've clearly taken inspiration from the game's predecessors while adding new ideas and features. The art style is clear and vibrant, and it seems like the idea is to mix fantasy with sci-fi elements, as demons and highly technologically advanced humans are the only two factions currently depicted in game. Overall, we're excited even with the lack of solid info. So first and foremost, guys, the gameplay that we've seen so far, it does look so vibrant. I think that is one of the things with Stormgate that kind of tries to set itself away from other RTSs out there. It's just so vibrant. The colors are so colorful. It looks like an incredible experience. So in terms of the release date, guys, well, currently we don't have an exact date for Stormgate's release date, but for what was hinted on the PC gaming show, it won't be until 2024. So 2024, guys, obviously you got to take it with a pinch of salt. I'm hoping that they are able to stick with a 2024 release date, but most likely if there's any delays or anything of that nature, I think it seems like they're pretty far into development. So at the very latest, I would say 2025. Now, in terms of the gameplay, we were able to see some Stormgate gameplay at the PC gaming show. So in terms of what that looks like, overall this looks like some absolutely classic RTS action that brings back the classic micro and macro elements of things like Warcraft 3 and StarCraft 2. And so in my personal opinion, guys, I think Stormgate reminds me a lot of StarCraft 2. It definitely has Warcraft 3 vibes to it as well, but it really looks like a StarCraft 2 spiritual successor, and I am so excited about this title. The major thing though right now, guys, is from the gameplay that we've seen and all of that is really when is the game coming out? When can we all play it? Really, guys, when we talk about closed betas and then when the game's going to release, the game looks like it's going to release. It'd be awesome if it was ready by 2024. But if it ends up being 2025, I'm okay with that. I just want Frost Giant Studios to take their time, make sure when the game comes out, we don't want a bunch of bugs, glitches, things of that nature that could really tamper the experience. So I want them to take their time, make sure it's very well polished and ready to go. So when the game releases, it is an absolute juggernaut and something that's going to be really special that we can talk about for years upon years to come. Let me know though, guys, what do you all think about Stormgate at this point? What you've seen so far? When do you think the game's going to come out? And what are you guys anticipating from this title? Let me know what you all think in the comment section down below. And for more Stormgate content and videos, keep it here with zrotv. And with that being said, everyone, I hope you guys did enjoy this episode of the 8 Below Show. And if you guys did, make sure you leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, just keep grinding. And as always, I'll talk to you guys all in the next one. Peace.